Okay, folks. Time to play Splatterhouse for the Graphx 16. The one I'm going to start with is the Japanese version of Splatterhouse. This game is actually a port based off of the arcade version of Splatterhouse 1. There's a lot of differences between the arcade version, the Japanese version, and the American version. I'll do my best to explain the differences between the three games. I am planning on playing Splatterhouse, the American version, next after I'm done with this. As you can see in the intro here, you have West Mansion, and in the original arcade, it starts out where there's a car and it breaks down, and you see Rick and Jennifer running to the house in that scene. For some reason, that was removed from this version. So. This is one of the original horror-based games. I think it's the first horror-based game. Yeah, that's a special move that if you master it, you're the best at this game. I mean, you could just fly through it if you can memorize where everything is. I'm cheating, so if you see me not dying, that's the reason why. But yeah, to do that attack, you press jump, and then you press down in the attack button just as he's touching the ground. And if you do it successfully, you'll kill the enemy very easily. I think it's like the equivalent of 3 punches or something like that. I don't really remember the damage rate. So this is the first boss. This is a little trick to defeat him easily. You just have to stand here and duck and kick these, I guess they're bloodworms. They kind of look like the bloodworms from the PlayStation 3 Splatterhouse. And that's the end of stage 1. And every time you complete a stage, they'll give you an extra, I think, 1 or 2 hearts. I'm not really sure how that works. But, as you can see, there's not so much splatter in this game. It's, you know, the gore has been cut down. In the original arcade version, which I have a port of the arcade version on a video game console, a Japanese video game console called FM Towns, and it's basically an exact port of the arcade version. And so I know the comparison between the two. So the gore has been cut down a little bit. So I'll try to do my best to tell you a bit of the backstory. Basically, you have Rick Taylor, which is the character you play, and Jennifer Willis, who is Rick's girlfriend. And they're like college students for like parapsychology or something like that. And they go to this mansion, West Mansion. And Dr. West is the owner of this mansion. And what happens is Rick and Jennifer enter the mansion after their car breaks down, and Rick gets knocked out by one of the monsters, and Jennifer is nowhere to be found. And when Rick wakes up, he finds this strange mask on his face. And he has this unusual super strength and all that. Okay. So, yeah. I could tell you a little bit about the mask. Yeah, stand right here away from the chandelier because it is going to fall now. The mask, as you could see, is a hockey mask. Clearly inspired by Jason. The American version of it, which you'll see next time, is red instead of white. Apparently they when we released it, we were like, okay, we don't want to compare this to Jason. We don't want people to think this is Jason. So I guess for copyright reasons. Oh, I got Graphx. And it's kind of the same thing as the other sewer level, except I don't think there was a stick in there I could use. Yeah, so the mask is different, and it goes through different changes during the course of the game. Later on, like in Splatterhouse 2, that's the first game where it starts looking more skull-like, because it's supposed to be a Mayan bone mask. I don't know if it's for ceremonial purposes, but yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. And then in Splatterhouse 3, it changes to more of a skull-like look. And here's the second boss, all known as Biggie Man. I don't know why they decided to call him that. And let's see if I can do the slide. Yeah! Sometimes if you're really good at it, you can kind of jump behind him and kind of do a slide right into an enemy. You know, if you can do it repeatedly, it's really good. And that little baby thing is creepy looking. I'm not really a fan of levels that scroll like this, but you know, I guess it can't be helped. Gotcha. Yeah, the green ones take 2 hits, and the red ones, or maroon colored ones, take only 1 hit. These little blades usually have to wait a while for them to spin. Oop, missed the bat. If anybody is interested in the codes, let me know. I could give you a link in the description. I'm using an emulator. I do own the game. The Japanese version of the game. This is Doppelganger Rick, or Evil Rick. You fight a couple of them in here. I think it's every 4th or 5th mirror. Yeah, it's every 4th mirror. I think you only fight 3 of them. They're not too hard. They only take like 3 hits. So if you can get a good kick, you'll take it out pretty much in 1 shot. Yeah, that's it. There's a lot of religious artifacts that were taken out of here. In the American version, as you can see in this version, there's a cross. That cross is not in the American version. Instead, they just put another disembodied head. Also, the golden meat cleaver, for some reason, is not in... This thing is really a pain in the ass. Is not in the American version. Instead, it's a, I think it's an axe, if I'm not mistaken. Like you know, cut wood. I don't know why. There might be a meat cleaver in the American version. I can't really remember. It's been a while. But yeah, that boss is really a pest. It's really difficult. Usually it's easier to stay on one side. The American version does not have this podium. Those little crosses up there on the pillars are not there either. Even that shadow of a cross, you can see that giant shadow to the far right on the floor, is not there. Here's Jennifer. I don't know why the religious thing is such taboo in America, but we're so freaking sensitive. Can't have any religious artifacts or anything like that. There's a lot of games that have suffered from the removal of stuff like that. Oh, in the original arcade version, see these hands, how they jump up? In the original arcade version, when they jump up, they give you the middle finger, which is kind of funny. Of course, they had to remove that, you know. Can't have a little sprite hand giving you the middle finger. You know, you don't want people to, you know, start chopping off their hands and giving middle fingers to people. Don't want to do that, nope. And you could go either up or down, doesn't really matter. Maybe the next video I'll climb up the ladder so you can see what's up there. I didn't even realize those things punch you. I think they're supposed to be like swamp monsters. Okay, so this boss here, you have these little zombies. This guy here is the Necromancer. Oh, I died. Yeah, anyway, this guy here is the Necromancer. Yeah, I have to take a hit in order to become invincible. That's how it works. It's in the programming. Where as long as you have 4 bars of health, or something like that. Anyway, so yeah, that was the Necromancer, and as long as you keep kicking him, he can't summon more. He'll always revive the zombies. Those zombie dogs are really bad. You got these ghost girls, and they will drop that skull on your head normally. So you want to make sure that you kind of go in front of them and let them drop the skull, and then punch them if you want. You want to make sure that skull doesn't land on you. See? Yeah. This looks like a shed or something. Okay, let's get out of here. I'll get you for this. Jennifer. What's happening? Oh shit. What's happening? Oh no, she's a monster. What are we gonna do? Okay, well, I'm not probably gonna be able to do this battle the way I normally do it. Usually I wait until he's stabbed. You want to kind of be far away from his stab and then kick him. But if you can master the slide, which I'm probably not gonna do very well. Now I'm doing it. There we go. But if you can master the slide, like that, there we go. And she dissolves. And Rick is sad. And now he's mad. I don't think he's gonna take any of that. And we're on to stage 6. Now, I don't mean to gross you guys out. Then again, if you're watching this video, you're probably looking forward to some grossness. Anyway, this is supposed to be like a woman's womb. And yes, those are baby fetuses. I don't think they pop in the arcade version. I think they kind of explode in a gory way, but they toned it down. Not that it makes a difference. I mean, come on. You're beating up fetuses. I mean, you know. Whether they pop or they explode, you know, it's still kind of awkward. But yeah, you want to kind of beat these things up. You want to keep them under control. You don't want them jumping around, and they probably are going to do that. Okay, I'm accidentally pressing the stupid menu button. Yeah, so you can see they hatch and they lab onto you, and you just have to shake them off, pressing left and right. Seems a lot of games have that. Whenever an enemy grabs onto you, press left and right. I'm not doing so good. See what I mean? See, look at how many. Oh my god, there's so many fetuses. There's so many fetuses. Who could say that? There's so many fetuses. There's so many of them. Oh my god, look at them all. They kind of look like, I don't know, lice or, I don't know. They look like some kind of bug. But I'm pressing the damn menu button again. There we go. I think this thing actually just like explodes, but this one kind of does, you know, I think there's blood in with the original one, but okay. We're on stage 7, and this is the final stage. The stage is not very difficult. This is actually one of the easier stages. You just have to kind of jump and take it one step at a time. Oops. You'll have those fire guys jumping around, and so it's basically just fire guys jumping around and jumping over logs. And you don't want to rush it. You want to kind of move on forward. You know, okay, kind of. Almost done. And there you go. And we're at the final boss. And yes, that cross is not there in the American version. It's a tombstone, which you'll see soon. And I believe that this is like a weird zombie form of Dr. West. And the reason why I think this is because if any of you ever seen like the original Evil Dead movie, and I mean the original one, I'm not talking about Army of Darkness, but it kind of reminds me of the professor in there and how he used the Necronomicon to summon, you know, the evil spirits, and then he became an evil spirit. So I think the story is kind of similar. It's like, okay, this is Jason, and then you have a little bit of Evil Dead. I mean, come on, he has a freaking shotgun in this, and there's a guy with 2 chainsaws for hands. If that's not an homage to Evil Dead, then I don't know what is. I wouldn't recommend, if you're not cheating, to do that slide kick unless you're really good at it. I finished him. You can see that little face. That is so Evil Dead reference right there. and the mask explodes. And the house is burning. Now, in the arcade version, you see Rick in the foreground, in a dark silhouette with a glowing red, and it's like he's walking away from the house. They removed that for some reason. I don't know why, but I kind of like. It's very subtle, but you can kind of see a little bit. I guess it's like blood or some kind of treacle through the letters. See it? There we go, a little treacle. Yeah, it's not a very long game, as you could see. It only took me like, about, I think, 20-something minutes. So yeah, it's not a very long game, but it's a nice game. The music is pretty nice in it. And it's a pretty good port. I unfortunately did not have a Graphx 16 when I was a kid. I didn't get one until many years later with the wonderful world of eBay. And I don't own the American version. I have the Japanese console, so I can't play any American games on it, just Japanese ones. I could play the American CDs, but I can't play the holo cards. And there we go. And wow, 1988. And it's made by Namco, the same company that made Pac-Man. And that's it for Splatterhouse. Now, in the arcade version, they actually show the mask go back together. Apparently, that doesn't happen in this version. So, yeah. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this Let's Play. I'm going to be making the other Splatterhouse games, so I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next Let's Play of Splatterhouse series. Later, all.